Some people inherit a legacy, others try to break away from it. And then there are those who attempt something which is rare, far more difficult to carry it forward, but on their own terms. And our next guest is doing just that, ladies and gentlemen, moving between cricket boardrooms and AI startups, navigating the space between tradition and transformation. Please welcome Mahanaryaman Scindia, President, Madhya Pradesh Cricket Association, co-founder, Ithara AI. So let me start on that note with that idea, Aryaman, carrying legacy but on your own terms. How difficult is it to really balance both the convention, the tradition, and bringing in your beliefs to it?
So I think legacy is derived from certain values, right? Your family values, what your family stands for, what your parents teach you. But then you take it, legacy is not just an occupation. People believe that, oh, legacy means because you're coming from a business family or a political family, you have to join business or politics, right? For me, legacy is values. So you have to derive the values which your family believes in, what you've learned from your experiences. Take that and move towards something that you're passionate about, a cause, a startup, a thought, and build on that with those values. For me, the value system that I came from was always build something that's impactful, build something that changes people's lives, always stay rooted in your country, and be humble. Right? These are the main core values that I was brought up with. And with that, I decided to say, okay, fine, you know what? I want to start my own startup and be an example for younger people in the country that you can do it. Right? I could have easily woken up one day and said, okay, fine, you know what? I'm going to join politics. But I decided not to take that route. I decided to go down the tougher path and say, I'm going to start something on my own, but I want to make it impactful, right? I want to change lives, and I want to make India the center of what I am doing. So that's the kind of path that I took.
All right. Now I want to talk to you about your family legacy. We have your mother sitting here as well. Welcome to NDTV Yuva. When your surname carries weight, does it feel like an advantage, or does it feel like there's a constant expectation coming your way?
I think it's definitely a privilege to carry that surname, 100%. But it does come with certain expectations. It does come with you being in the spotlight. It does come with you have to be very careful with the decisions that you make, because the decision that I make doesn't only impact me, but it impacts my parents. It also impacts where I come from, because the whole of Madhya Pradesh is watching. The whole of Madhya Pradesh is looking up to you. So every decision counts, right? So you have to take that on your shoulders. But at the same time, what it does also is that it always keeps you extremely aware of your surroundings and extremely responsible and accountable for your actions. So you always think twice or thrice before making a decision.
ऐसे कभी हुआ है कि उन उम्मीदों के खिलाफ आपको खड़ा उतरना पड़ा हो? Those expectations?
मुझे नहीं लगता कि उन उम्मीदों के खिलाफ मैं कभी खड़ा हूँ. मुझे लगता है कि
conversations in your house with your parents, look, these are the expectations, my line of thought is different.
No, I think that मुझे लगता है मेरे जो मेरी परिवार है, especially मेरी माँ और मेरे पिता, उन्होंने हमेशा कहा है कि आपको वो करना चाहिए जिसमें आपकी रुचि हो, क्योंकि अगर आपकी रुचि नहीं है उसमें, तब आप कभी खुश नहीं होंगे.
You're sounding very sorted, Aryaman, for the age you're at.
Well, there's certain things that you learn from your parents, I guess. But the point really is that you have to find something you're passionate about. But at the same time, like I said earlier, it should be something that drives impact. Right? Whether it's sports, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's business, pick something up, pick an idea, pick a problem up, work on it, and make it bigger and make it impactful. That's the kind of note that the general teaching that I follow from my parents, and that's the philosophy that I've always lived by.
All right, so he's leading the Madhya Pradesh Cricket Association as well, as all of you know. So it's a system that's rooted in tradition. I want to ask you now, what is that one big change you think that the Indian cricket administration needs, keeping the youth in mind?
So I think now being in the system for about 5 years, right, and now also getting the opportunity and the privilege to head Madhya Pradesh Cricket Association, I've realized as a young leader, there are 2 or 3 ways in which I can bring about the change that you're talking about. One is the inclusion of technology within administration, right? So the world, or rather India, has never seen an ERP for cricket. So
Tell us more about that.
so with the background that I come from, which is basically I have my own AI startup, I decided why not infuse what I learned there into cricket as well. So what I'm building right now, and I'm now in the ideation phase, is a very novel ERP that manages administration, compliance, also cricket selection in my state. So what it'll do is that essentially when you have MPC as association, you have divisions and districts below that. But right now, there is no connection with the division and districts in terms of their compliance, in terms of their accounting, in terms of their selection committees. It's very, I would say, hazy. Right? So what this will do is that I will build this ERP in a way that all your grants, all your compliances, all your reimbursements will come through technology. So you have to first apply for a grant, right? Sometimes many people are not from an accounting background but are in divisions and districts. So they don't know where exactly their compliance is being missed or where the accounting is being wrong. So when you upload your requirements for a particular grant, the AI model will then come back and tell you that, okay, you are missing X, Y, or Z.
Is this something that you have already spoken to the Cricket Association?
Yeah, we're working, we're developing.
And what has the response been?
It's been fairly positive because what this will do is it will allow even transparency in selection processes. So all your data points, your cricketers, wickets, runs, innings, everything will be fed into this ERP. And then selectors have to, if they want to analyze a player, all the player analytics and the profiles will come up on the dashboard. And then when he's making a selection, he'll have to search for a player and add him to his team. Then it'll come to the division and the MPCA board to approve. So it's fully a transparent process led by technology.
I think IPL will want this more than anyone else. At this point,
Well, I hope so. I hope so.
given the number of teams and the aspiring cricketers that you have. But I want to come back to the Madhya Pradesh Cricket Association as well. It's a set system, right, that you're talking about. It's been there for so many years and decades. Has it been challenging? Usme badlav lana?
Yes, I mean, absolutely. I think, but you have to find a midway, right? So we're a lot of young guys like me. There are also a lot more, I would say, experienced people, not old people, but experienced people on the other side. So what I love is healthy debate, right? So I put questions in front of them. You know, one of the main questions that we deal with on a daily basis is red ball cricket versus white ball cricket. Now, the more experienced people prefer red ball cricket.
So healthy debate becomes a heated debate
Becomes
as well?
a heated debate as well, but out of that comes very interesting solutions. So
Alright.
how do you keep, international cricket active versus T20 cricket, right? So we're building incentivization programs for international cricket as well. And we're also building leagues like Madhya Pradesh Premier League for T20 cricket as well. So there's always a balance that you have to set.
Okay, we've spoken a bit about cricket. Let's talk about his AI ambitions as well, given that you have a startup. You know, AI is about speed, it's about disruption, it's about risk. What has drawn you to this, and what is that one big problem you want to resolve?
So when I decided to start this company, I did a lot of analysis to understand where India lies in this, firstly, this AI landscape, right? So very interesting facts came out of my research. Some people may think that, these are actually very known facts, but it's quite interesting to learn that internationally, 30% of every company has Indian employees, right? Firstly, in the software development side, in the coding side. Number two, within the AI landscape, right? If you look at general AI literacy, India is number one, right? We also have the most AI LLM users, right? Most in the world. So these are certain facts that came about my research. But what I really was intrigued about is the fact that all these large language model companies had a large amount of Indians developing these LLMs, right? Training these LLMs. So when I started talking to my friends from college, they said, why don't you think about starting an AI model training company. Considering a large amount of Indians are working in this area, and from this background, why don't you start in India itself? And that really made me think, right? What I thought was that if you look at the history of India, we've always been the back end of a lot of IT services, right? We've never really been the front end of large technology moves, right? Now, what AI has done is it's created an area for India to become a tech giant again, right? So what I'm doing right now is my mission through Ithara AI, which is the company that I run, which I'm co-founding, is that I want to make India the center of global AI model training, right? We have a huge opportunity here. We have, as I said before, the strongest community of STEM students and engineers. We have the strongest community of coders. We have the strongest community of software developers. My objective is to, A, retain them in India. Now, a lot of people...
That's very important. That's going to be a big challenge.
It's going to be a lot big challenge because a lot of people want to go to the US or want to go to Europe and work because there's a lot of research, right? Research is what drives these guys, right? So firstly, we're a research-first company. We first invest a large amount of our profits into research, into being on the frontier of model training techniques, into building environments for model training. These are virtual environments. So these are extensive research programs that we have started. The second is that we've built a lot of relationships with universities. So we become industry partners where we set curriculum, right? So a large amount of time is that what you're studying in computer science, you're studying in software development doesn't match the requirements of what you need to be in the AI industry. So we've actually set curriculum and assessments with these top colleges to ensure that we bring in the best talent and retain them in India itself. The third goal is to ensure that the talent that has already gone abroad, which is our Indian minds that are running large amounts of these companies, come back to India, right? But they need a mission, they need a cause, they need a sentiment. It's not just, oh, I'm running an AI company. It has to come in with, what is your mission? What is your goal? And while I talk to these people who are running these companies abroad or are part of very core teams of large language model companies, they get very excited when there is an Indian founder working on Indian techniques derived from Indian students, creating Indian IP for India. So that's a big, big move in terms of the AI landscape in India.
We're going to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
For that endeavor of yours. Now we have Aryaman, who has been busy with cricket. He's been busy with AI. I want to understand from him, which has taught you more about leadership?
So you actually learn very different lessons from both. You have one...
You're very diplomatic.
No, it's a fact. It's a fact.
Cricket or AI?
The fact is that one is a sport and one is a business. You can't compare the two.
Okay.
From cricket, you learn a lot from sportsmanship, right? How to play in a team, how to work with a team, how to also balance your wins with your losses, right? Even in AI, you don't win every battle, right? You don't get every contract, you don't get every project. But the ones you lose from, you got to learn where you lost out on. Was it quality? Was it throughput? Was it thought process? Was it pricing? What was it, right? So when you go back to the drawing board, you really reanalyze what you're doing with your team, right? And you take out the strengths of your team rather than the weaknesses, right? You have to build on their strengths. You have to, although you analyze their weaknesses, you got to identify each person's strength and play them in that particular position. So this is the kind of stuff that you learn from sports and then you bring into business. What you learn from business and take into sports is administration, right? What I talked about is how do you bring technology into sports administration? How do you bring transparency into sports administration? How do you look at profitable models? Right? How do you invest money in areas that you can see a great ROI in? And that ROI is not in terms of money coming back to you, but that ROI is in terms of human impact that you create, right? So these are the kinds of learnings you get from both, which makes you a very strong leader all round.
Let's talk about leadership. Let's talk about the youth. This room is full of very young people aspiring to do big things in life and be successful. But You know, when you look at the generation before them, they say, ये लोग हैं, इनको instant gratification चाहिए, कोई धैर्य नहीं है इनमें. But would you say that's because of the fast-paced life we have today that you see impatience amongst the youth?
I think you've touched on a very important point.
And this could take an hour
yeah,
to discuss.
It's a point that actually I have been dealing with for last 3 to 4 years, because as I interact with I'm a young person itself, but as I interact with people younger than me, and all the people that I employ are between the ages of 20 and 23. Like that's the level of the company's demographic, right? So when I speak to these people, right, and I generally try and have a lot of group conversations, what I try and push them to think about is that all of us, we all think about short-term gain, right?
Yes.
Okay, this year, what is my salary going to be? Next year, okay, how can I get it to 25 lakhs? Okay, next year, how can I get it to 50 lakhs?
Are you all agreeing to this?
Right, so everyone thinks about today, how much can I earn? Right? No one thinks about, okay, if I'm part of a company for 5 years, what experience do I build, right? And with that experience, what do I add to the company that will give me a return on investment, right? So if you get, say, 0.01% of $1 billion company, right, that itself makes you a huge, much more wealthy person. That's what I tell them, don't think about just pure play salary. Like even when I get people from, like I've been speaking to Indians.
But where does the impatience come from?
The impatience comes from instant gratification. It comes from the fact that, oh, I've got that high of getting that salary and I can tell my parents, oh, I've got that 25 lakh salary. But that's not going to give you anything, because what happens is that to catch that salary, young people end up moving jobs every 6 months to a year. So you'll meet people that every year have switched jobs to ensure that their salary goes higher and higher, but the experience remains stagnant.
Okay. We want to know Aryaman a bit better now. We've asked him about cricket, we've asked him about AI, we've asked him about leadership. I want to know from you one personal failure that has taught you the biggest lesson of your life to date.
So, I think I would say, that's a very good question again. One personal failure that I have had, and it's...
Which you're ready to share.
Yeah, it's impacted me a lot in the recent times, is that I had another business, right? It was called My Mandi, okay? And the whole objective of that startup was to ensure, first, to democratize the way the agricultural sector was working, right? You have, all these farmers going to the mandi, and in the mandi, there are a lot of other players. You have the arthya, you have the masha khor, you have a futkar, then it goes to the retailer. There's a whole layer that plays out over there. I spent like 3 years just traversing the mandi, and people are like very shocked that I was in the mandi at like 2 in the morning, running around this whole mandi with my co-founder and understanding how this market functions. So a lot of the times I'd wrap myself around so that no one would identify me,
okay.
right? So I'd put a cap on, I'd wrap myself around, a scarf around my face, and like traverse through this mandi to try and understand the complexities. It was a very big idea, very big mission, where I wanted to provide quality produce at the best price to all retailers, so the retailers then could further upsell it to their consumers. And this was all done through a digital platform which had a map, which had heat maps of where you would find the biggest mandis, and within the mandis what the prices were, and then people could negotiate on the platform. So we worked on this for about 3 years. We tried pushing very hard, but there's some systems that take a lot more to break, right? The mindset, it's not just throwing money at it. It's the mindset that you need to change. And unfortunately, even though we were very passionate about it, we had to shut it down. So to me, it was a failure,
but
right?
What was the learning?
The learning was that you gotta cut your cords,
yes.
right? Yes. When you feel like it's not working, right? Okay. Don't latch on to an idea and keep on going when you know what the reflection in the mirror is, right? So although it was my baby, it was our baby, it was something that I was very passionate about, I realized that, listen, sometimes some things have to come to an end to move to another chapter, right? And this Ithara was the next chapter that I moved towards.
And that's a very big learning. I think he deserves a round of applause for being so honest about his failure and the biggest learning from it, ladies and gentlemen. We have about 3 minutes left, so very quickly, I want to know what the Scindia household looks like when you're away from responsibilities and doing what you do on a daily basis.
Oh, you don't want to know that.
No, we want to know, don't we, guys? We want to know. What does it look like?
No, it's actually a lot of fun. So generally, it's all of us cooking, right? We all are big foodies.
Does
so
the
my mother,
minister cook?
yeah, he cooks as well. My mother cooks, I cook, my sister cooks. So there's a lot of cooking in the house that happens. As we're all very big foodies, so everyone's researching different recipes, trying to find more innovative
I
ways
should
to
have
cook.
asked you questions on fitness because if you're a foodie, it doesn't show.
Well, there's a lot of fitness that happens in the background. My mother gets tired of my diets. She's like, okay, now one more diet has come in. Now you're vegan. Now you're this. Now how is a cook going to make this? There's a lot of that debate that happens at home. But yeah, we love cooking, and B, we love outdoors. So we love going on safaris. We love wildlife. We love going on treks. So that's what kind of our family looks like when we're not working. It's
Okay.
also, my father is a huge, I would say a huge competitive person. So anything we do has a lot of competition. So if we're in the pool, it's not just swimming, you got to do laps. So who's doing more laps? 60 laps, 70 laps, 80 laps. So there's a whole debate on who's winning there. So yeah, there's a lot of competition, fun, games, cooking, trekking. That's what we do.
Lovely.
Wildlife, yeah.
Before we let him go, a quick rapid fire round. All right? And
Go
you have
for
to
it.
be very quick
Yeah.
in responding. Favorite cricketer
Sachin.
in today's day and time?
In today's Virat.
Okay.
Yeah.
One word your friends use to describe you.
I would say naughty.
Naughty.
Yeah.
Okay. The mother is approving, sitting there. She's saying absolutely emphatic nod there. A habit you're trying to change?
Impatience.
Impatience. There's another item that we're not seeing, guys, out here. A book or podcast that you would recommend to the youth out here?
So definitely, I'd say in terms of a book, I would say The Art of War. So Art of War teaches you a lot of daily things in life. When we talked about impatience, when we talked about instant gratitude, all these things are reflected upon
Take
that.
note, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, early mornings or late nights?
Right now, I have both. I'm hardly sleeping because I have clients in the US, so hardly.
One decision that changed your life?
Starting my own business.
Okay. Success in one word?
Actually, let me rewind. The one decision that changed my life was actually my gap year. Yeah.
Is your?
Gap year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Success in one word?
Success in one word is impact.
Legacy in one word?
Legacy in one word is values.
Okay, and finally, arranged marriage or love marriage?
I would say definitely love.
Love?
I'd prefer that, yeah.
Can we get your reaction to that, man? The last question, you have a mic right there behind you. I've kept this for the last so I get your reaction. Is the mic on? Yeah, go ahead. Arranged or love? It's his decision, I know, but your views.
As long as he's in love.
As long as he's in love. All right, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so
Aryaman.
much. Thank
It's been a great session. All the very best, and thank you for being part of NDTV Yuva.